Hey sis.
Hey sister circle.
I'm your big sis April.
And I'm your little sis Tiffany. And we are Sister Talk Network podcast.
Sisters bridging the generational gap while encouraging candid conversation
and healing amongst women, friends, and sisters. You have a sister now.
Hey sis.
Hey sis.
Hey sister circle.
Hey sister circle.
I am your big sis April.
And I'm your little sis Tiffany.
Tiffany.
We just cut it short today. It's Tiff today.
It's Tiff
today.
That's the alter ego name. I'm just Tiff.
I'm Tiff
Just
today.
call
With
me
all the stuff
Tiff.
I've been going through,
Child.
it's just Tiff today.
I understand.
But
Thank you.
We are Sister Talk Network, our podcast.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We are soaking up some vitamin D today because it's been one of those weeks, y'all. We need all of the light we can get.
Stay grounded, like how we said in our last video. Like put the toes, sometimes you gotta put the toes in some soil.
About to get on that
so
grass.
We got the backdrop, got the garden going in the backdrop.
The beautiful rose
Excuse
garden.
the black bird that's looking at me right now and might actually swoop down and try to get your sister.
Oh no, he better not. He better stay where he is.
He is lurking. Because
we would have to fight him in the name of Jesus. If he try to come down here.
Tastes just like chicken. Play with me if you want to.
You know what? No, I don't want no bird, y'all. She can have that. But we've been talking over the last couple weeks, filling our sister circle in on our why. Mm-hmm. And then transitioning into like where we currently are and talking about the process and what God wants and what he's requiring of us that is really tough, but we are embracing it. And today I just wanted to talk more about walking in that purpose. Because of how hard it is to do, now we're at this pivotal point that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks are we going to just keep it at a position where it's good enough, or are we going to really truly push into purpose and what he wants? With all of the challenges that life has thrown our way. So what we gonna do, sis?
I feel like the challenges are getting more because when I wanted to just do the bare minimum and not do like, okay, I'm just gonna give the cute family and make sure we all color coordinated and just play the housewife. It's like, okay, there's no obstacles, right? Because I'm not a threat. Threat and spiritual and physical, because just like that spiritual threat comes, so does the physical threat comes. So it's hard, and I'm not gonna lie, there's been times where only because God won't allow me to go back to the place that I was is the only reason why I'm not going back. Because it's like, okay, if you would allow me to go back and allow me, the difference is if you allow me to go back and take the ignorance that I had, I'll go back. But you're not going to let me go back and have the enlightenment that I have now and then put me in the same position because it no longer fits. Right.
You're not that same person.
No.
And I was evaluating all of that this morning and all of the adversity that's coming, and we talked about it all along the way, and with the understanding that, like you said, it's getting worse, and it's getting worse once we move from a point of just coasting through to catapulting forward. So now that we made the decision that, nope, I see where God wants us to go and we're catapulting forward, the adversity is real, y'all. It's like, it's super, super, super real. But how easy it would have been to just say, we're going to stay right here. We're going to stay right here. But we can't. We can't. And it's tough. It's tough. It's so
like,
tough.
Okay, it's nice being cute, but where's the ugly stuff at? Where's the stuff where there's actually growth? Where's the stuff where people are just like, okay, it's not all flowers and sunshine all the time? And I think we've been brought up to do a really good job of
that's why it's
keeping
so hard.
keeping the rainbows and the sunshine. But okay, the ugly cries and the ones where your mouth is open and you doing the who is it? Viola Davis, and you know she do a really good cry.
She can play a role.
Snot fall on cue. And it's just like, where's your Viola Davis cry? Where's the times where you're in the closet and be like, God, if you don't do nothing else, I need you to come get me out of this situation.
Yeah, she can definitely play a role.
Yes.
And I feel it. I feel it all. God, I'm purposeful today in not allowing this to go the way I feel. because God has, I remember I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago, and you said, God is challenging me not to look the way I feel. And still carrying out his purpose and his plan no matter how we feel. And it will be easy to just to look defeated and feel defeated. And honestly, if I'm going to be honest with y'all, that's how I felt this morning. I felt frustrated and I felt defeated. But I know that he's given us all of our weapons. I almost have to sometimes go back and listen to some of the old episodes and the weapons of praise. So I just put my praise and worship music on as I was driving up, and not allowing those things to affect me in the same way. And it's hard. It's a challenge. But just understanding also that it's easy to be complacent. But then understanding that complacency is the enemy of motivation. So how do we combat that? What do I need to do other than just talk to myself, which is what I've been doing. Like, nope, we're not doing that today. We're not doing it.
I think I'm at a hard place because I feel like it's wired into me, and probably some others, where it's not so much the validation, it's the I don't even know what the word is for that.
The approval of others, like that.
Yeah,
that
but not
thing
even. Again? I no longer care if you agree or you see what I'm doing. But like, I've worked so hard. I was talking to my brother-in-law. Shout out to my brother-in-law. I absolutely love my brothers and my sisters. But I was talking to him about how hard I've worked on building myself up, and having them motivational talks in the mirror, like, you got this, you good. And I told him, I said, I just need somebody to not take that from me.
Right.
I'm not even asking you to add to me right now. I can add to myself, which I wasn't able to do before. All I'm asking you to do is to not take from me. So at a point where I don't expect everybody to see what we're doing with the podcast, to see how God is changing our lives. But I do expect you, if you cannot uplift or add to, I expect you to not take away from.
Just don't say anything.
Yes.
Just don't say anything. And when I think about how challenging that is to continue to walk in purpose when you don't feel like you have the support.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me. And a little different from you, I want you to cheer, cheer me on, and we want to feel that validation and that support from the people in our lives that mean the most. Just as we would do for them, so that's where it's hard.
I've gotten used to the adversity that other people add on to me.
Okay. It's new to me. It's new to me, y'all.
Just growing up, like, everything I did was, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Down to the daggone prom dress that I wore. Well, why did you choose that color? And just really having to stick to my guns of,
this is what I want.
This is the color that I want. No, I don't want to wear your favorite color. I want to wear my favorite color. Like, and just like, even down to growing up in the church. Oh, why you shaped like that? Or why you shaped like that early? Negro, because you gave it to me. It's a bloodline thing. Leave me alone. You got the same behind and hips I got. Leave me alone. But I'm talking about at like 16 years old, when I'm not even aware, other people was aware of their bodies, I wasn't aware of mine. And I think, like, having the adversity, I've always had that. But my issue is I let my guard down to certain individuals that I've never seen it coming. So now I'm kicking myself, because it's like, how did you miss that?
Yeah, you don't expect it.
And I don't know how to be... I don't know how to be vulnerable with somebody who's throwing adversity at me. I cut people off.
Right.
Like, I'm kind of like, I'm everybody's biggest cheerleader. Regardless of some stuff, I'd be like, they doing some BS right now. But okay, if you believe it, so do I. I'm just still going to root you on, okay, you want to go to school, you got 5 kids and you want to go to school, okay, what do you need? Yeah, what do you need help with getting to that situation? I'll never show my doubt, even if I have it. So not getting that same thing in return has been one of them things where it's just like, you're so close to me, I can't cut you off.
Right.
Because it's not only detrimental to me, it's detrimental to other people.
Right. And your relationship. So that's not something you want to do. And working through those things is hard. And I was listening to Bishop Jakes, his last message, And guess what the name of it was?
What?
Purpose Isn't Petty. And I was like, ouch, ouch,
Oh
ouch,
my
ouch,
goodness.
ouch, ouch, ouch.
He's been
Yeah.
getting me lately.
Because it makes you want to get in your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're doing this, so I'm going to do this. Or you're not doing this, so I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
But he was basically saying God don't care about your feelings. Don't get me wrong, he cares about our feelings.
Yeah.
He cares about everything concerning us. But his purpose trumps our feelings.
Yes.
So sucking it up.
I think I seen some clips of that. He was like, he's still going to ask you to do it anyway.
Yeah, no matter what, we still have to do it.
Yeah.
So I was facing challenges with that even this morning, and just trying not to go there, trying not to be petty, trying not to go there, trying not to react to situations in the way that I normally would. And I've been vocal about how I handle situations in a corporate setting. So that meant me kind of lowering my voice. And in hindsight, it really almost felt like a defeated voice, but it wasn't. It was me still stating my point, but recognizing that because of me feeling challenged and that I wasn't being heard, it made me take a defensive stance. And I know I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So the struggle is real. I won't even pretend.
Yeah.
It is. It's definitely real, but I know that there's no choices at this point.
Yeah.
Trust in the power of God to work in every situation.
Right. And not according to how I think he should handle it.
Right.
It's my hardest thing because I turn into, like we talk about Medea, get them.
got him.
Yeah, and this is like I can't expect in his all-knowing wisdom, I have to trust that he's going to handle it the way that he sees fit.
Yep.
And recognizing that being a Christian doesn't mean that you always agree with how he handles it.
Right.
And I'm having a hard time with that because
Me
at
too.
the times where it's just like, okay, I agree with how you got them. I like how you did. I like how you did that guy. But then it's just like, okay, I don't feel like you move. Like, to not feel like you're being moved on your behalf, it's hard.
It is. It is. And coming to the conclusion of no matter what you do, I'm going to keep moving in the way that you told me to move and trust that you got the rest. And that's kind of where I had to get. But that was after I played the tape over in my head like 50 times this morning and getting to a point of letting it go. Because what I'm learning is that with purpose, we have to push ourselves every single day. We talk about how we get in these places of just a lull and feeling like I'm not capable, I don't have the mental capacity, I can't do this today, but still pushing past it and doing something. Even if it may not be what we deem as truly 100%, but we got to do something.
Yeah.
I'm learning a little bit at a time.
Yeah. I'm really having a hard time, sisters. Like, I'd rather, like, to me, like I said, if you cause me any discomfort, if you cause me any pain, if you break my heart, I'm out. Like, I'm usually out. And God is just like, I always ask now, what do you want me to take away from this moment? And he was telling me his opinion matters of me regardless of what anybody else thinks of me or says. He was like, so now everybody is going to fall by the wayside, and I have to test you to see if you're okay with just me. And now I'm in a situation where it's just like, if I'm honest, no, I wasn't. I'm not okay if it's just you. Give me one cheerleader. Give me something. Give me this one person that I'm asking you for. And he's like, but I didn't call them. I called you.
Right. And that's kind of a who's on the throne of your heart thing. Where if it's just me and you, are you still okay? Yeah. Even though it's hard.
And I'm trying to figure out how to be okay with that.
Yeah, that takes prayer.
Yeah.
To try to figure it out. But I do also believe that obstacles come when we're close to something. And I've been trying to keep that in mind also, because the last thing we would want to happen is the tape is played back, which, God always shows us after the fact. the tape is played back, say a year from now, and we realize we missed the opportunity because we were caught up in the distraction or the obstacles that we were facing. I'm not willing to let that happen.
Yeah. There's people that's like one episode away from reaching what your ultimate destiny is.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of my journey now is to get some of the stuff out of me that I can't take into my next season. And that's where I'm having a hard time with, because it's just like how Michael Todd was talking about, I've always been like this.
Yeah, it's just me. This is just who I am. This is just who I am. So if y'all didn't see the last episode, go back and watch that, Gracefully Broken, where we were talking in depth about that, because we understand that God is, for me, I talked about how God is opening doors for me to sit on certain platforms, and I was struggling with it. And then you talked about preparing for those platforms and understanding that there's some parts of me that I can't take with me. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, there's some things that just can't go, and God was dealing with me on pride. And although I was saying, no, I'm not prideful, but it was the pride of refusing to be vulnerable to people, because we've just never done that. Like you said, we grew up in an environment where you give this appearance of everything is good, I'm good, we're good, everything's good, but no, it's not. And being okay with not being okay. That's the hard part. But that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. I think that's where our power actually comes from, vulnerability. As hard as it is to get there, but we talk about how God's strength is made perfect in our weakness, and all of these, which can also get to a point almost of cliches, but that's not what we want. We really want to walk in what he says. So that's the struggle. But we are going to get there. We're going to get there. I heard somebody say that, like, our vulnerability is our strength for God to catapult us to the next level.
Yeah, T.D. Jakes was talking about that too.
Yeah,
and he was talking about the brokenness, and he was like, you ever look at a slingshot and how far it's got to be pulled back in order to reach that next plateau of where God wants you. And he was like, he calls it the crushing season. He was like, you're crushed and you're trying to figure out what this is. He was like, but you can't get oil not unless it's pressed down.
Wow.
And he was just like, people don't want the olives, they want the olive oil. They don't want, and he was like, that crushing season. And boy, is it uncomfortable. And it's like, I don't want to go through this.
No, not at all. And we were talking about this last time, where I was telling you, I feel just what you were saying, but the analogy that came to my mind was a threshing floor. Like, I really feel like I'm on a threshing floor where God is determining, okay, what's useful to go to the next level and what's not, and it's just stripping me of all of those things. And you talked about that. Now I'm thinking back of God saying, okay, now I'm going to need to strip off all of those things. So it's uncomfortable, y'all. We won't even pretend. We won't even pretend.
And I can't handle things according to what somebody deserves, because I'm like, you deserve to get all of this wrath. You deserve for me to tell you off. The way you destroyed my peace, I'm about to come for yours. And certain people that's in my life, he's just like, well, you wanted them there, and I'm blessed for them to be there. So I'm gonna ask you, I'm charging you with what you're responsible for according to your promise to me, not them.
Okay.
So, like, regardless, I'm still responsible for certain areas that I'm like, people are reaping the benefits of just what I promised God. And I'm just like, you don't really deserve it. After the way you've treated me, out of the way that you've talked about me behind my back, you really don't deserve it. But the same way I don't deserve all the grace that's been bestowed on my life.
Mercy, not even so much grace. Mercy. And we know that God chooses whom he chooses to have mercy on. And it has nothing to do with us. Nothing at all. And the last thing I would want to happen is for us to block our own blessings because we are worried about what's going to happen with somebody else. So it's almost like we have to turn a blind eye, or pray to God to say that you trust his power is working in that situation. And what your part is. And you might not like the answer. A lot of times I have not liked the answer, but because I'm determined not to get totally off course. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I have moments.
Yeah.
But I will not let anybody or anything take me out of the purpose that I'm on. That's not going to happen. So make up your mind that you can do it. And then there may be an assignment in it for you.
Yeah.
Did you ask God?
I feel like I'm my own assignment right now.
Okay.
Because where everybody else would consider the hard road, I consider the easy one. Because I'm just like, I could just leave this person alone. I could just do this. I could just do that. And to me, that's the easy way.
Okay.
Because then I've always been it's easier for me to detach my emotions from somebody than it is for you to repeat the offense.
Okay.
So I would so rather just be like, you know what? I'm gonna block you from you ever being able to do this again. Okay. I will not give you another opportunity to make me feel like that. But God is challenging me with learning another way to handle it. And I'm like, I don't know any other way to handle it, because all I've seen, all I've been taught is if they don't no longer fit, cut them off. No,
you got to get the lesson. You remember a while back, couple episodes back, I don't even know how many, where I said I went to God and I was dealing with some things and it wasn't moving.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, God, I'm not getting the lesson. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer that he won't allow things to move until we get the lesson. Yeah. So you got to ask him, what's the lesson in this for you? Because he's allowing you to be in this hard place, this uncomfortable place. And I don't think it's going to move until you understand the lesson. Yeah. Now, whether it be what you think it should be or something different, it may be what you think it should be, but don't move without the lesson.
Yeah. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. No, we're not moving without the lesson, because it's another one of those situations where we would then see later on down the road, I missed it. I missed it again, and I'm not missing nothing. I done been through too much hell to miss anything. And don't get me wrong, there's still going to be some things that we're going to miss because we're human first and we get caught up in our emotions and so forth, but I'm not sitting in it anymore. And I think that's why it's so important to renew our minds every single day. Whether it be starting with the Bible app like we talk about, or listening to a sermon, going into prayer, meditation, grounding, putting your feet in some grass, whatever it takes to center you. That's what we have to do, because we know how our minds work. And I honestly think our minds are our worst enemy.
Yeah, it is.
So I challenge you, and I challenge our sisters to think about those things that are troubling you, those things that are challenging you, those things that are beyond your control, and weigh it. Is whatever you're dealing with more important than God's purpose, or you missing God's purpose? I dare to say not. So, and you talked about it a while back, where we make a list of all these things that are challenging us. One side of the paper, right side of the paper, write down what God says about it. Even if we're looking up in the Bible, his word, what he says about those things, or how he can use those things for our good, for his glory to be better. So we're going to try that. We're going to try that. Sisters, you do the same thing. Those challenging things.
Yes.
Yeah, write them down. Do whatever you have to do to renew your mind. So maybe we'll issue a challenge for that over the next week, like we do. Like every day, to check in, to give tips of renewing our minds, or over the next month. So it's not every day. Things that we can do to renew our mind daily. We talk about journaling, which is a big one for me. So that's something that I do, just to read it back. And then we listen for God's still small voice, and he usually will speak, even if it's not through like an audible voice. It can be through a something you read, something online. How many times have we seen reels and you're like, look at this, look at this. We were just talking about that.
The confirmation.
Yeah, like it comes. And this morning, Tiffany sent me something, not even, well, she can always tell when I'm going through something, even though I wasn't really talking in depth about it. But sent me this reel. Who was that, Viola Davis?
Oh, yeah.
Just talking about just affirmation.
And her
struggles.
Like sometimes the dragon that she's slaying is her.
Yeah.
And she was just like just talking about like being worth it. I'm not having a problem with my self-worth.
Okay.
I'm having a problem now when other people don't see it. Like it's like I get it. It's a learning curve for everybody else, because it's just like it's like with anything, you know, we go get our hair and nails done. It's just like, okay, but when they go up on the price, we throw a fit.
Yeah.
It went from being this price to now they being this price. And it's like, I don't want to pay this price because I've been paying this. And now that my price has gone up, now that my self-worth is going up, and it's like either you pay this or you don't, but then you can no longer afford me at this cost. It's an issue for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's like that's where I'm having an issue, because it's like, okay, do I run back down to the price that they're comfortable with?
No, ma'am.
Or
no, ma'am.
Or it's just like, okay, not only do I have to stay at this price, but God's going to exalt me to another price, and you're going to either continue to pay the price of what it costs, or you done shopping.
Yeah.
You're not getting no
Y'all
groceries
hear her?
over here.
You're not done shopping. You done shopping, she said. But I think you have to learn, you have to get the lesson and understanding for anytime God shows us something, it's for a reason. So it's, God, what do you want me to do with this? Sometimes he'll say nothing. I was praying about something the other day about someone and controversy. And I was like, God, what do you want me to do with, before I could even finish, nothing. So I wasn't even able to finish my sentence. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything with that. But that may not be your answer. It may be something different. But I think we got to try to get out of our heads to be able to hear, because we know those distractions can block everything. So you won't hear anything. And then it's stopping you from moving in the purpose of something else that he's speaking. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. And the other thing that Bishop Jake said on that the last episode that I was listening to, he was like, purpose is not about the what is happening or what has happened, but more about the why. So that's a good question for you to present also. You know what's happening, but why is this happening? God, what do you want me to do with this information? Or what's happening? Is it something to advance me to a next level? Is it something to give you thicker skin for where you're going? Or do you really want me to do something and move?
Yeah, my thick skin doesn't have compassion behind it.
No, and that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem.
Yes, because my thick skin is nasty. Like, if I'm being honest, my thick skin is kiss my behind.
No,
like,
it's work.
Yeah, like, it's like, okay, you want thick skin. What do you call? I'm a black belt at being able to just. People be like, how did you just cut that off so quick? And one of my other girlfriends was like this too. It's funny. We were growing up. She was in this relationship for 6 years. He did one thing that triggered her so bad, and she was just like, I'm done. Changed her phone number. Took her 2 months. She changed her address. She was just like, no, because I could show you better than I can tell you. And it's just like, I'm that type of person. Like, if you do something, I'm changing my number quick as I don't know what.
Purpose isn't petty, sis.
But no, it's not even. I don't do it to prove a point to anybody anymore.
You're serious. This is it.
Yeah, no, like it's more so of I no longer feel safe.
Okay.
And this is like, what do I have to do to get back to that place of I feel safe? I feel like I'm safe.
So you need to write all those things down.
Yeah.
Write all of those things down. Pray over it. Ask God what he wants you to do with it. And on the top of that sheet, purpose. So these are all the things that are hindering me right now.
Yeah.
Well, how can you use those things right side of the sheet for your purpose, my destiny, and my healing ultimately. Because we talk about it, we're all on a healing journey, and what happens is when these things come up, it's just a trigger for something else. That's all it is. It's some insecurity that is in us that's already embedded, and then moving past it. So we got to figure out what the answers are. We got to figure out what they are. And I think he will give you exactly what you need as long as you submit to it. Now, if you decide, no, this is where I'm at, this is just who I am, which we've talked about, he's not going to speak, because it's you made a decision at that point to move in your own power. So he's going to be like crickets, like nothing happening.
So I really want to know what am I supposed to be doing.
Right, because you don't want to keep having the same instance over and over and over again. Like, what's the saying? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. No, we don't want to do that at this point. So I need to understand what the lesson is, if there is one. If there's not, and you want me to move or do something different, then okay, show me, so I'm not in the same situation next year this time. Because that's not what we're going to do, especially when we know where he's trying to take us. We can't afford that.
And I remember having that conversation last year with God, and it was like, I don't want to be in the same situation, and I'm completely different. Like, it's one of them things, like, if you would have told me where I'm at now, just mentally, and just like even some of the stuff that I'm seeing, like some stuff I wish I didn't see, but
hard to unsee it.
Like, oh, ignorance is bliss, put me back in the matrix, like plug me back up, red pill or blue pill, I want the one where I can stay where I was. But I'm so thankful for those moments where God is just like, well, look where you were last year, and you asked me to get out of this because you was recognizing that this is not all there is. So now I was like, okay, I'm in this season, and I was comfortable before, like, okay, I like this new growth, I like this new season, and now it's just like, okay, next step.
What's next? But when you think about it, to God be the glory for where he's taking you from. We talk about all the time the instant Christian thing, where like we want everything instantaneously, but it takes time. So although you're seeing something different, it's not going to be a fix overnight. And that's what we were talking about before, where some things are just not an easy fix. No matter how much you want them to be, and no matter how uncomfortable it is to sit in it, we have to be vulnerable sitting in it to get to the next step in our purpose and our healing. So it's hard, but that's why I think we have to renew our minds daily, and we have to submit ourselves to him daily and everything we have going on at the time. So get that list going. Get that list going. And we are going to start to just offer some tools for renewing our minds. Because, I mean, we don't want to get too personal. We ain't telling everybody all our business, nor do we want you to tell us all of yours. But doing the personal work of getting the lesson. And with that last incident that I told you about, once I got the lesson, the anxiety came out of it. Don't get me wrong, I was broken, because now I'm in a place where I have to move completely differently to fulfill the purpose and plan of God. So it's hard, but I know I can't move that way no more. So you're going to get the lesson. You're going to get the lesson.
By any means necessary. Listen.
This is what I have to do. So I guess we'll start to wrap up now. We got our vitamin D, working on the melanin. But we want to end with our question, and that is, what does sisterhood mean to you today?
I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. Well, based on everything that we talked about, sisterhood to me today means growth. Just you talking about where you were versus where you are now, and how God puts those people in our lives to catapult us into purpose and into growth and not being stagnant. I think it was Jackie, when she was on, and she said that be leery of people that only have people around them that agree with everything that they say. Because how can you grow? So sisterhood to me means growth. What about you?
I gotta say, it means to me being okay. And like just being okay with whatever season you're in. Because I remember, I forget who the young lady was talking about, like, whatever season you in, it has to change.
Yes.
You know, if it's raining now, you know it's not going to always continue to rain. If you know it's snowing outside, it's not going to continue to snow. And you know where there's darkness, there's going to be light, because the sun has to come back up. So just being okay with the season and having a sister circle that reminds me, okay, it's okay that you're going through this right now, because when you in the middle of the storm, it feels like there's no way. Yes, there's no way out, and this is the rest of my life, and it's not.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely not. And we talked about that before, and I want to reaffirm that to you in saying that yes, it is okay to not be okay. And that is so important. And when we were talking about depression, we talked about looking at it as a visitor and something that's not going to stay forever. So I think we have to look at our seasons of life the same way. Like, even if it's a good season and we are in bliss, it's just a visitor, because at some point, something's going to happen to move you from that place. Yeah. So that makes it easier when we're in that sunken place. So it's okay to not be okay. Yeah. For a minute. For a minute.
It's just like that. And when you said that, certain people were more comfortable with me being depressed than this new version of me.
They can't. A lot of people
never would have seen it coming though. I never saw it coming. I think that's the most hurtful thing to me, because I got blindsided. I'm cool if I see it coming. You know, you see a speed bump, okay, I'm gonna slow down. Yeah. But it's like when you don't see it coming, you go full speed ahead over that speed bump. You tearing up bumpers, rims, everything else. Yeah. So yeah, I tore some bumpers and some rims up because I didn't see the speed bump. Yeah,
that's hard. Yeah. That's hard when you don't see it coming. But growth is hard. It's hard within, and it's hard for the people around us, because some people may feel like I didn't sign up for that version of you. We talked about that before as well. And are you going to be able to go with me to this next season of my life is going to be your choice and what God decides to do. And I'm going to pray on it and pray on it and pray on it. But if you can't move with me, you can't move with me. But it's okay to be where you are. But I'm going to be on her, y'all. She tell you all the time where she on my butt, because I'm not going to allow you to stay there for too long, because I know what purpose God has for your life, and we are not getting stuck. So I am grateful for this unity, this connection, because we are going forward. We're pushing past it, and it's going to be okay. Yeah. It's going to be okay. Yeah. So, all right, I think we are going to wrap up there. Everyone enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you soon. Bye. Girl, don't let nobody do it to you.